Thank you, Patrick. Patrick O, Chair of the Kenya Society, Dr. Diana Owen, Director General of the Royal Overseas League, Mr. Kamal Shah, Juvenal Shun, Deputy Chair in this part, distinguished members of the Kenya Society, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very great pleasure to join you today and to see so many friends of Kenya, friends who have distinguished themselves by constant support for our country's best interests and to whom we owe much thanks. Asanteni sana. Let me start by saying that I look forward to new friendships as much as I hope to strengthen the old. Kenya is at a transition, as most of you who follow our country closely know. The new constitution wrought dramatic changes in our government, and this must now be translated into actions that must expand the opportunities available to grow our country. The UK likewise is looking to renew its role in the world while renegotiating its close ties with neighbors to ensure new prosperity and new freedom for the British people. Kenya is keen to maintain the prevailing stable and flourishing economic ties with the UK post-Brexit. We are keen to ensure predictability and continuation of the existing market access conditions to the UK that we currently enjoy, as well as increased foreign direct investment flows to our country. And let's admit that Kenya's relationship with Britain is without doubt one of the most important of our relationships with the global community. We trade more with the UK than virtually any other country. More visitors from here come to our country more than any other part of the African continent. And more Kenyans visit the UK for business, for pleasure, for education, just when they're passing to go through another country, they feel Britain is where they should come through. We have a strong relationship and bond, and indeed, this is one that we hope to keep and strengthen in the coming years. Now, in my view, the task of Kenya's High Commissioner to the UK is to advance Kenya's interests in alliance with one of its oldest friends. I'm not alone in that view. Some of Kenya's most distinguished public servants, from Dr. Josephat Karanja to Dr. Bethuel Kiplagat, and from Dr. Sally Kosgei to Lazarus Amayo, have served in this post. They were as adamant in defense of Kenya's interests as they were astute in advancing the alliance between Kenya and the United Kingdom. I'm humbled by their achievements, and I look forward to following in their footsteps. I propose, ladies and gentlemen, to right away take up the matter of economic diplomacy, which is of mutual benefit to both Kenya and the UK. We all accept, I believe, that Kenya could do a far better job finding investors abroad and informing them of the opportunities we offer. I look forward to doing my part to ease the path of potential investors looking to apply their expertise and experience in Kenya. And equally, we in Kenya don't find as many opportunities for Kenyan investors abroad as we could. It's time, in my view, to change that. It's time to rededicate ourselves to the search for opportunity for our people, born here and born abroad. We are devoted to securing win-win partnerships, both here and in our country at home. I'm keen to advance the interests of Kenya's diaspora. I'm keen to advance the interests of all investors, and I'm keen to advance the interests of Kenyan students here. Ladies and gentlemen, when in her speech at the Conservative Party conference, the Right Honourable Theresa May called Kenya an engine room for growth in years to come, she was right. She asked the people of the UK to meet the possibilities Kenya presented, and I couldn't agree more. Indeed, I see it as my job, in my new designated role, to ease both sides' search for these possibilities. On our part, His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta is keen to continue to create a business-friendly environment and is committed to keeping the economy open to investors. In this context, this year's World Bank Ease of Doing Business report indicated that Kenya maintained its strong business reform agenda, carrying out key reforms in the past year to improve the business climate for small and medium-scale enterprises. This is an area that we would like to see more activity and it's an area in which we would like to see investors from here take a keener interest. The reforms raised Kenya to 61st place in the Global Ease of Doing Business Index of the World Bank from 80 last year. And this shows that the path of consistent improvement over the last few years has gotten Kenya to a level where we believe more investment needs to flow. It is my desire to see more UK companies coming to Kenya in order to strengthen the already flourishing economic relations and to take advantage of, obviously, this improving business environment. In achieving this objective, the UK stands out as a key partner, particularly in the execution of our development agenda, and we look forward to continuing to work with you in the business community to meet the President's Big Four agenda, which stands around growing the manufacturing sector from the current 8% of GDP, 9% of GDP to 15% of GDP, ensuring sustainable food security, building 500,000 housing units in the years to 2022, and achieving 100% universal health care. This agenda can only be delivered through a combination of public and private sector financing, knowledge sharing, and experience and expertise sharing. Foreign direct financing will definitely play a significant role in the implementation of the Big Four, and I expect some of the finances will come from some of you guys seated right here. And the reason for that is that you have been at the heart of partnering with our country and are keen to see it ascend in both reform and growth. When it comes to security, ladies and gentlemen, that's a concern of ours as well, and the President has put it the best way you can. If our region flourishes, if the countries that neighbor us flourish, if Somalia, Sudan, Ethiopia, Burundi flourish, then we too will flourish. The key question here is that peace in our neighbor is peace in Kenya's interest. And we work to ensure that all our neighbors can attain and can maintain peace. In Somalia, we've seen fantastic progress, the work of countless ordinary men and women rebuilding their country, and Kenya has been able to participate in securing peace there. We have our men and women in uniform working to not just defend but also protect the Somali people. In South Sudan, there have been numerous ceasefire agreements, and we hope the latest will end the country's devastating civil war. We look to the UK to help and advise where appropriate, drawing on their long experience in peacekeeping, anti-terrorism work, as well as state rebuilding. In closing, let me reiterate our commitment to further strengthen the relationship between the UK and Kenya. And as High Commissioner designate, I pledge to do all in my power to ensure that this partnering will grow so that we can improve our people-to-people relations, our trade, tourism, investment, and security. Let me thank Patrick and Kenya Society for this Karibu Balozi event. I look forward to working with you to deliver on our objectives, which is advancing the interests of Kenya to secure mutual growth and win-win development. I thank you.